Dragon Ball Sparking Zero is here, at least for advanced access players. While it goes live on October 11th for Xbox Series X and S, PS5, and PC players, there's plenty to learn about the game's combat and various features. Some of this will be familiar to longtime fans, others are brand new and can be a real difference maker during fights. Check out 15 things we wish we knew before jumping into Sparking Zero. Delve into battle training. Whether you're new to the franchise or a Budokai Tenkaichi veteran, it's worth delving into battle training. Separate from regular training, it teaches you everything about Sparking Zero's combat system, from movement and ki blasts to counters and super attacks. It's even broken up into different tiers so you can work up to the more complicated techniques and get your bearings. Training. If you want to practice specific characters, you should head into regular training. It isn't available as a separate mode, instead you go into the rule settings when choosing a stage to set the same. Training works much like a traditional fighting game, with multiple settings to configure for opponents depending on what you want to practice, like interrupting ki recovery, breaking through their defense, etc. Mastering Rushchains. Whether you train or not, you'll learn quickly that Rushchains are very potent. While they're great for getting up and close and preventing an opponent from charging their ki, they also deal significant damage and can be used to transition into other attacks. Rushchains can vary between characters, so mastering them as soon as possible is key. Mixing up combos. As satisfying as it can be to unleash a continuous stream of combos on an opponent, it's important to mix them up and avoid inadvertently knocking them back. Transitioning between each type of combo is the key. However, you should also understand the nature of each combo, like those that use heavy finishes to stun enemies for longer, or rolling hammer, which makes it easier to attack their back. Keep your opponent guessing to press the advantage. Ki charging and management. Whether you've played a Budokai title or not, everyone knows how essential ki can be, whether unleashing long-range projectiles or entering the new sparking mode. The fastest way to gain ki is to charge it, which can leave you vulnerable. As such, knowing the best times to press the advantage against opponents while they're charging ki, when to utilize your own for various techniques, even for regular super attacks, and so on is vital. Try to knock opponents away and even get behind cover to avoid their ki blast if you're desperately needing to charge up. Sparking mode. Sparking mode is a new addition with Sparking Zero, but how do you activate it? First, charge your ki gauge to the max. If you have one skill count, charging beyond will fill the sparking meter. Then press up on the D-pad for transformations and activate it. Sparking mode doesn't last forever, but while you have any meter, your stats are increased, basic attack damage increases, ki blast usage is infinite, and much more. It's a game changer and may just be your ticket for a comeback.
Over here! What's wrong? Too shabby.
Transformations. Even after all of these years, or even decades, the sheer hype from witnessing a transformation is unmatched. In Sparking Zero, transformations are essential for powering up certain characters, like Goku and Vegeta, and given how the destruction point limit influences team building, having their base versions and transforming mid-battle is a viable strategy, which also applies to fusion. Transformation requires skill count. When you have enough, hold up on the D-pad and press the specified face button to transform. While you can go straight to the most powerful transformations, they'll require more skill count.
Let's go!
Fusions. Fusions work the same way as transformations. Once you have enough skill count, hold up on the D-pad and select your desired fusion by pressing R1 or right bumper to the dedicated tab. However, you must have two characters that can actually fuse, like Goku and Vegeta, and fusions like Vegito Blue can cost a whopping 5 skill count. You also need to match the correct versions of each character, so in this case, Vegito requires a combination of base Goku, Super, and Vegeta, Super to create. Skill count. The skill count is another new mechanic, and it's consumed to perform specific actions like transformations, sparking mode, fusions, revenge counters, and so on. The downside is that it recharges passively, so knowing the right time to use them is important. Having enough skill count on hand can be vital for turning the tables against an opponent. Revenge counters. Revenge counters, as the name indicates, allows for counterattacking an opponent when they're unleashing melee attacks. While it's easy to perform and covers any direction, it costs 2 skill points. Be careful when using it against an opponent who can see it coming and uses perception to bait you, since the latter doesn't cost skill points. Super counter. Perhaps the most potent tool in the game, the super counter is excellent for escaping an enemy's close quarters offense. It requires facing them and precise timing, much more so than a revenge counter, but it's great for stopping rush attacks or countering any melee hits. Best of all, it consumes no skill points, leaving those resources open for other essential techniques. Super perception. As revenge counters and super counters are to melee attacks, so is super perception to the really hard-hitting long-range abilities. If you have 2 skill count, then using super perception allows deflecting these attacks and opening the door to rushing your vulnerable opponent down. Ability items. An underrated tool for improving your chances in battle is an ability item. These are all kinds, from those that raise max health to raise the power of rush attacks, ki blasts, smash attacks, and whatnot. You can only equip 1 ability item at a time, but as your player level increases, more slots become unlocked, further augmenting a fighter's power. Raise your player level ASAP. Not to be confused with proficiency, player level represents the total experience you've earned throughout the game. Raising it is essential for unlocking the ability items. However, your level must also be high enough to purchase various characters from the store. So if you're stuck in episode battle against a boss, and you know the one, try playing other characters' episodes and raising your player level. Play an offline tournament or the bonus battles, especially since they'll give the necessary zenny to purchase said characters when your level is high enough.
Let's go!
Do you want to see?
And that'll be about it for this one. If you guys like what we're doing at GamingBolt, please consider subscribing to our channel, and I'll see you guys on the next video.